Just ahead on CTV News.
We caught up with lawmakers ahead of the 2026 Maryland General Assembly. I'll tell you their top priorities coming up.
And Delegate Boafo secures funding and 14 endorsements towards his campaign for Congress.
You know, the time is for a new generation of leadership, and that's what we're focusing on.
Plus, a state public defender is pushing for justice reform in Maryland. These stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for January 13th. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news tonight, the Maryland Democratic Party hosted a legislative luncheon fundraiser this afternoon.
Our Michaela Newton spoke with lawmakers in Annapolis just one day before the upcoming session.
The 2026 Maryland General Assembly convenes tomorrow, and I spoke with some Maryland Democrats here during their luncheon in Annapolis to speak with them about their top priorities. State and local officials were in attendance, including Congressman Steny Hoyer, who recently announced his retirement after serving 45 years in his role. He praised the work being done in Prince George's County. Nicole Williams, chair of the Prince George's County delegation, shared some of the top legislative priorities. Among the top priorities was affordability.
Really what we're looking to fight for, one, are the bread and butter issues. We're hearing from a lot of our constituents about their concerns with their energy costs. And so that's something that we're going to be working diligently with our speaker and with our governor and our Democratic leadership on ways that we can tackle energy here in the state of Maryland and really figure out ways that we can reduce people's costs on their monthly bills. We're also going to be working with our new county executive on what we can do on a state level to support the economic development that we know needs to take place in Prince George's County.
We are going to be pushing for as many resources as possible to come back home to Prince George's County.
Ahead of the session.
Thanks, Michaela. Delegate Williams says she is strongly considering running for Congressman Hoyer's seat.
Meanwhile, Maryland Republicans are seeing the upcoming session as an opportunity to push for smaller government. Some Republicans think that the state's government has simply gotten too big. Senate Minority Leader Steve Hershey Jr. says, quote, "We've gotten to the point where there's more government than people needed." When it comes to the state budget, some GOP lawmakers think pulling back spending for the blueprint for Maryland's future is needed and to halt raises for state employees. Republicans are in the minority in both Maryland's Senate and House. And Governor Wes Moore is getting criticized for his proposed billions in spending. The governor proposed plan to spend $374 million in education, which would be a 17% increase. But when asked directly about how the state will pay for his spending commitments, the governor continues to skirt around the question, often saying, quote, "We're not going to raise taxes." It's important to note that the Maryland Department of Legislative Services predicts that the state will face a budget deficit each year through at least fiscal year 2031.
And in other news, an afternoon of violence erupted in the county yesterday with 2 shootings, leaving 4 teenagers injured. The first happened around 4:30 at the 7500 block of Milligan Lane in Clinton. Just 30 minutes later, the second shooting happened at the 3300 block of Curtis Drive in Silver Hill. According to county police, 4 juvenile males were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The investigation is still active and ongoing.
Prince George's County Delegate Adrian Boafo announced he is running for Congress. Boafo began his career in politics working for Hoyer in Maryland's 5th District. At just 25 years old, Boafo won a seat on the Bowie City Council, later serving as vice mayor of the city of Bowie. He was then elected to the Maryland House of Delegates. Boafo recently introduced new legislation called the Icebreakers Act of 2026.
What my bill says essentially is that if you work for ICE after the presidential inauguration in 2025, you can no longer work in Maryland state law enforcement. So you can work anywhere else in state government, but we don't believe that you are fit and qualified to serve as in a law enforcement capacity here in the state of Maryland. And here's the reason why. What we're seeing is that folks are masking up, they're getting in unmarked vehicles, and they're ripping families apart. We don't want that to happen here in Maryland, and shout out to the governor and to Mayor Scott for what they're doing, because they're actually lowering crime. This president is just tearing families apart.
While Boafo stood firm in his new legislation, some of the Prince George's County delegates were against the legislation and say they need to take another look. Congressional Democrats threatened to withhold funds from the Department of Homeland Security in the wake of a deadly shooting of a Minnesota woman by ICE agents. DHS funding, which includes ICE, was not included in a slate of appropriations bill that were released on Sunday by the House of Appropriations Committee. Lawmakers hope to include funding for DHS and a minibus for national security. So far, the House has passed 6 of the dozen appropriations bill that is needed to be approved by January 30th. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Katera Jones.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Still to come, a local woman is facing backlash and multiple charges after assaulting a man at a giant grocery store.
After the break, find out the shocking reason for the attack and how the police department is taking steps. Back in a moment.
Okay, Dad, look at you.
I look nice, don't I?
I see you.
Adding your own flavor to fashion comes with age.
Oh, man, that's the best one yet.
Forgetting how to add doesn't. Finding it difficult to work with numbers may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Are you okay?
An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one.
High school.
Hey, Dad. Do you want to talk about what happened earlier?
Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's. Some things come with age. Some others don't.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
7th grade was the last time I was in school. I had to grow up so fast that I never had a childhood. I was 38 when I went to go get my high school diploma. Where you start your life doesn't define how you're gonna end up. And now I'm a school nurse. I have hopes now that my daughter is gonna be something bigger and better than what I ever accomplished.
Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Welcome back. The Maryland Car Rally Task Force was extremely busy this weekend as they dismantled 4 car rallies, prevented 4, made 5 arrests, and recovered loaded firearms. One of those arrested was 23-year-old Christopher Solis, who was charged with possession of a loaded handgun and vehicle. They also arrested 3 teenagers from Silver Spring and another one from Laurel. The task force started their operation around 9 Saturday night and focused on areas in Anne Arundel, Baltimore, and Howard and Prince George's counties.
Why are you touching me? Why are you touching me?
Well, a viral Christmas Day assault has now landed a local woman in hot water, and now the Alexandria Police Department is taking better steps to address hate crimes. 34-year-old Shabritney Colbert of Landover was recorded by the alleged victim inside the Giant on Duke Street saying slurs related to the man's sexual orientation and race. She is currently facing multiple charges, including assault, battery, and destruction of property. Cobold currently is in the county jail and is awaiting extradition to Virginia.
And Senator Chris Van Hollen discussed his work to make Prince George's County safer and more economically stable. During the meeting in Upper Marlboro yesterday, Senator Van Hollen discussed investments for the county, fighting against the impact of cuts to federal agencies and their workforces in Maryland, and bills that he's backing in the federal budget, working its way to the Congress right now. One proposal would send millions toward programs designed to strengthen the relationship between law enforcement and the community.
In the budget that I think we're going to pass, the Senate and the House, we have funding for, number one, the COPS community program. This is sort of community-based policing, but also funding specifically to provide for better de-escalation techniques, right? We want people in a community to feel safe interacting with the police. After all, the police are there to protect the community, and so we want to make sure that training and those resources are in place to accomplish that mission.
And the federal budget is still being negotiated and must be approved by Congress before any funding can be finalized.
A push for justice reform in Maryland, and this time, leaders say it's not just talk. Maryland Public Defender Natasha Dartigue is launching the Maryland Justice Partnership, a statewide effort aimed at reducing mass incarceration and changing how the justice system works across Maryland. The partnership is designed to help push reforms as lawmakers return to Annapolis, focusing on policing, mental health care in jails, parole reform, and youth justice. Supporters say the work is urgent, pointing to long-standing racial disparities in the system.
It is a coordinated effort bringing together state agencies, community organizations, service providers, and justice advocates to implement specific policy changes that will address mass incarceration and the racial disparities in Maryland's criminal legal system.
Leaders say they plan to reassess progress this spring.
And voter fraud in the DMV has sparked Democrats to jump into action. The DNC has joined the Maryland State Board of Elections as defendants in a lawsuit that alleges the election board failed to keep accurate lists of registered voters in the state. The RNC filed last December alleging that Howard and Montgomery counties reported more voters than citizens 18 years of age, and that 10 additional counties have a voter registration rate higher than 95%. Both organizations claim the state's Board of Elections failed to erase deceased, incarcerated individuals, and undocumented immigrants.
Governor Moore appoints a familiar face to the Maryland State Board of Elections. The new member is Eric Bryant, who has more than 30 years of experience in the law, government, and politics. He recently worked as the chief of staff to Congressman Kwasi Mfume. Before that, he was partner for 14 years with Rifkin Weiner Livingston LLC. He has also worked as a national office staffer with the NAACP. Governor Moore says Bryant is, quote, the right public servant to ensure Maryland's elections remain fair and free.
And as one of the biggest primary election years is underway, a new poll shows that Governor Moore's approval rating is starting to drop. The Gonzalez Research and Media poll surveyed 808 Marylanders who plan to vote this year. Now, against any other candidate, Moore has 49.9% chance of winning. But his job approval rating dropped to 52%, with 41% who disapprove. 47% of the voters feel that the state is on the right track, while 41% think it's headed in the wrong direction. And still to come on CTV News, mark your calendars. Northwest Stadium is gearing up for a year of shows and entertainment.
That's right. After the break, find out what the stadium has in store. Back in a moment.
Every minute, 20 people in the United States experience physical abuse from an intimate partner. But domestic violence goes beyond abuse.
I stand for kids growing up in safe, loving homes.
It's not always a partner. It can also be family.
Yo apoyo a las familias fuertes y a las comunidades fuertes.
Abuse can be emotional, verbal, and financial.
I stand for every survivor finding support and justice.
I stand for justice that protects and empowers.
I stand for teaching the next generation that love is never abuse.
We stand united against domestic violence.
Break the silence, break the cycle.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible, but when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
If words were enough, I would help you bear your burden. I would watch each child of yours grow strong and true. Teach them to read and to write and to sing, so that their voices be forgotten nevermore. If words were enough, I would sate your hunger, and you would know you are my sister, my brother, my child. If words were enough.
It's so hard to predict a sick kid who just keep getting sicker, but we needed to be together as a family. My family is my entire life. My family means the world to me.
When we're together and we have support from Ronald McDonald House, we can be a little stronger. They provide food and a place to rest your head, and they will help you through every step. That's what gets you through every day when you don't know how else you're gonna make it.
It makes you feel like you're not alone.
Prince George's County native Brian Goodwin started his own organization that teaches kids all ages about technology. The name of the organization is called Technique Kids, and he teaches kids everything about tech, from iPads to AI, computers, and more. Goodwin believes it's a chance to expose kids to technology early so they can get ahead in the world of technology and STEM.
Yeah, so Technique Kids is an organization where we provide course curriculum, we do one-on-one tutoring, and we provide after-school and in-school services. So the purpose of it is we want to make sure that the emerging tech leaders of the future have all the necessary skills so they can either A, get a career, B, start their own company like I did myself, or our real dream is one of our students create something and invent it, and then we give them the patent opportunity as far as we're going through that process.
And Goodwin also says his goal is to develop the next generation of tech leaders.
One local technology company has raised $10 million to expand their platform. CloudForce's investment is focused on their Nebula One product, which lets businesses run AI models in a private cloud setting. They currently serve 3 million people across 90 colleges and universities, including the University of Maryland. Now, they want to expand into the healthcare sector to provide more control over data privacy, ownership, and cost management.
And small businesses are seeing tax credit changes in 2026 that could put more money back in their pockets. At the federal level, recent tax law changes make several key breaks permanent. That includes the 20% qualified business income deduction for pass-through businesses, which was set to expire after 2025. Businesses can also fully deduct certain research and equipment costs right away, rather than spreading them out over several years. Employers are also getting a larger tax credit for providing child care and permanent credits for paid family and medical leave.
Well, it's the end of an era as PBS News Weekend has officially signed off due to the federal government cutting $1.1 billion in funding to public broadcasting. During Sunday's finale, the program highlighted the importance of the stories their newscast covered. The PBS News Hour began broadcasting in 2013 from New York and moved to the nation's capital in 2022. The weekend newscast averaged 827,000 viewers per show.
And January is the busiest time for gyms as New Year's resolutions drive people to get fit. But before you commit to a membership, fitness experts suggest testing the habit of working out first. Experts advise starting with simple routines you can do at home or outside, like walking, body weight exercises, or short workouts. Building consistency first can help you commit to a gym long term. Also, take advantage of free trials, visit facilities, and check out equipment and class options before you join.
After a historic 2025 season, Northwest Stadium has unveiled some of its major events happening in 2026. First up on the list, the venue will host an international men's soccer friendly between France and Colombia on March 29th. The matchup brings together two global soccer powerhouses and will mark France's first appearance in the U.S. since the 1970s. Then, on May 2nd, the stadium will be rocking with Bruno Mars stops to the county as part of the Romantic Tour. The tour supports the 16 Grammy Award winner's newest album, The Romantic, set to debut on February 27th. And I just can't wait for that show. It's going to be great.
Yes, it is.
Now, don't move. Simon Buggs has our Tuesday sports page.
That's right, and he's bringing us some highlights from the hardwood. What's going on today, Simon?
Don't move a muscle, sports fans, because coming right up, some highlights from the Sarasville versus Thomas Stone high school girls basketball matchup from last night. Stay right there.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills. Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up.
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop a
normalizing.
bullet.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
All right, sports fans, y'all know what time it is. Go ahead and grab a seat. We begin today's sports page with some high school hoops action as the 4-1 Sarasville Lady Hornets look to add another game to the win column in their matchup versus Thomas Stone last night. Now the Lady Cougars got off to a great start as Heaven Coles nailing their triple got her team out to a 15-0 lead over the Lady Hornets. But soon after, Sarasville got their first bucket of the night after Hornets drove straight to the bucket for 2. And that will be the only basket Sarasville scored in the quarter, and Thomas Stone turning defense into offense helped them put a lot of distance between themselves and Sarasville. And they went into the second quarter up big, 31-2. Yikes. Sarasville's offense scored something in the second, but they weren't able to even put a dent into Thomas Stone's lead. And the Lady Cougars dominated in the second quarter and went into halftime with a commanding 48-7 lead over the Lady Hornets. And that was all she wrote as Sarasville dropped to 4-2 after losing the ball game 61-23. The Lady Hornets will look to bounce back in their game versus CMIT North tonight at 6 o'clock. And that won't be the only girls basketball game taking place tonight, you guys. Potomac High School will be on the road taking on Frederick Douglass. The Bladensburg Lady Mustangs will defend home turf against Eleanor Roosevelt. Bowie, who's rolling right now at 8-2, will face off against Siouxland. And finally, Central will try to get their first win of the season against Oxon Hill. Meantime, over in College Park, the start of Terp softball is only a couple weeks away. And this year's Lady Terp squad has a nice batch of freshman talent, two of which have some hype surrounding them going into the season, as pitcher Alicia Wygan and catcher and infielder Zeta Rock have been named to Softball America's freshman watch list. Prior to coming to Maryland, both Wygan and Rock were highly decorated players, winning multiple varsity letters and earning first-team All-State and All-League selections. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what these two do on the diamond this season. Wrapping up sports, the NFL's divisional round bracket is finally set, you guys, after last night's Texans versus Steelers game. Now, there will be games this Saturday and Sunday. For Saturday's matchups, the AFC #1 seed in the Denver Broncos will host the Buffalo Bills for a mile-high matchup. And following that game, Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers will take a trip to the Pacific Northwest to face off against the NFC's top seed in the Seattle Seahawks. And for our Sunday games, Pro Bowl signal caller C.J. Stroud of the Houston Texans and Drake May of the New England Patriots will take the field. And finally, the matchup I'm most looking forward to, the Los Angeles Rams will take a trip to the Windy City to try and get a win against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Man, I'm getting excited just reading about it, you guys. Best believe I'll be glued to my couch checking out these games. And that wraps up your Tuesday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports. See y'all tomorrow.
Thanks, Simon. Now let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be partly cloudy. We have a slight chance of rain around 1 a.m. Tomorrow we have a chance of rain after 1 p.m. It'll be 52 degrees, but we have a chance of snow tomorrow night. Thursday we have a chance of snow before 7 a.m., so be careful on the roads. It'll be 32 degrees. Friday will be mostly sunny with a high of 35 and a low of 28.
And for our community calendar, tomorrow morning is the opening of the Mount Peniel Arts annual Black History Month exhibition. The exhibit showcases the diverse talents of regional artists while highlighting the stories of African Americans. The exhibit will run through March 1st with viewing times from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, contact the Art Center at 301-377-7800.
And do you have a story to tell? You can reach out to our CTV News tip line.
Give us a call at 301-386-4885, or you can send us an email to ctvnews@pgctv.org. As always, we look forward to hearing from you.
And that's a wrap for CTV News for now. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.